What's up YouTube, it's Zapdos TCG here, and thanks again for tuning in for our TCG deck profile video. Today we are gonna check out a Zoroark Magcargo deck profile video, and it's going to be post-rotation for the people that are starting in September. This can be an ideal starter deck for you if you happen to have the necessary cards. The thing here is that Magcargo can put a card on the top of the deck, and Zoroark of course has the ability to trade in order to draw that card out immediately. So no other partners here besides some deck cards, but we're definitely gonna just check out the list from scratch. So first things first, if you're playing a Zoroark build, you at least need a 4/4 line of Zoroark, because that is the most consistent version of a Zoroark build. With that, you draw into your Zoroarks way quicker, and of course Zoroark is an amazing Pokemon, 210 HP, also having access to that attack Righteous Beating, which deals 120 damage if your bench is entirely full, and that for just one attachment, a double colorless energy. Then of course we have its partner here in crime, it is Magcargo. Magcargo with the Smooth Over ability lets you once during your turn put one card from the deck on the top of the deck, which means you can just, oh, I need a double colorless energy, no problem, it's on the top of the deck. Oh, I need a Guzma to win the game, no problem, it's on the top of the deck. Oh, I need a switch because I'm stuck in the active position with a Magcargo, no problem, it's on the top of the deck. So as soon as you have a Zoroark out and a Magcargo, you can just do whatever you feel like. You can just put anything you want at the right situation on the top of the deck and then come out on top. Next thing is these Tapu Lele. There's going to be 3 Tapu Lele in here. You might just think, oh my god, Tapu Lele, what an expensive card, but good news for you guys, this fall there will be a Tapu Lele Tapu Fini collection box. So with that, Tapu Lele comes as a promo, so you'll easily have access to your necessary Tapu Lele GXs. Also, nowadays, they have been lowered in price. So if you're looking for Tapu Lele, this can be the ideal time if you were waiting to get Tapu Lele, well, because they are now reducted in price. Next up is a couple of tech cards. Is one copy of Deoxys from Celestial Storm. Deoxys has the attack Psychic, dealing 20 damage plus 20 more for every energy attached to the opponent's active. This is mainly for Buzzwole, because Buzzwole just runs over Zoroark so quickly, and if a Buzzwole with a B-string comes into play, you can just rely on the Deoxys. It also has only 1 retreat cost, and the good news is you can also use it against other attackers. Think about Naganadel, you also hit weakness for a 1-price attacker. Maybe with Choice Band you can do some nifty stuff if they have a lot of energies attached. Next up, we have Oranguru with Resource Management. Tord Redcliffe made this card legendary. Why is that? With Resource Management, you can put 3 and a combination of 3 cards from your discard pile on the bottom of your deck. Why is this so great? Puzzle of Time gets rotated out and actually is now banned and expanded, which means we need to find a way to get cards from the discard back, because there's no more special charge, there is no more Puzzle of Time, so as soon as our double colorless energies hit the discard, they're in there forever. Or are they? We are gonna rely on Oranguru to get, of course, things back. Let's say you attach a DCE onto Oranguru, well, you can just put 3 DCEs back in the deck. It's a matter of speech here, because Oranguru can put anything back. Your Guzmas, no problem, your Tapu Leles, whatever, you have a lot of access to your cards in your discard thanks to 1 copy of Oranguru. It's also a 1-price attacker, so that's awesome. Next up is going to be 2 copies of Pokemon Fan Club. I know Professor's Elm, there's going to be a Professor Elm that lets you search your deck for 3 basic Pokemon that have 60 HP. But the thing here is that this card will not get released until February, so we just have to stick around with Pokemon Fan Club for now. Pokemon Fan Club is just like a lowered down version of Bridget, which lets you search your deck for 2 Pokemon and put them directly in the hand. The good news is that you can, is this basic? Yeah, it's definitely basic Pokemon here. If you just check out this, it's definitely like Bridget. You can just put 2 basic Pokemon from the deck in the hand. The good news here is that you can just grab also a Tapu Lele with it. You don't have to bench it immediately, so if you're dead drawing and this is the only card in the hand, grab yourself maybe a Zoroark together with a Lele. That could happen, so you can just use the Tapu Lele the turn after that. Next up, the most consistent draw supporter after rotation, of course, you guessed it already. It is Cynthia. We're gonna run 3 copies of Cynthia. Cynthia lets us shuffle our hand into our deck and draw 6 fresh cards. Without the Sycamore and N in the format, this is the next best thing. Cynthia is very consistent. You don't discard cards, which is a huge benefit for the format right now, because special energies are just so hard to recover, so that's why we're relying on shuffle draw supporters like this. Cynthia, just a nice draw supporter. Next up, we're gonna run 2 copies of Judge. Why are we gonna run copies of Judge? Well, let me just explain this to you guys. Without N, disrupting the opponent's hand will also be a must. Let's say you're facing another Zoroark build and they're using trade, and suddenly they have 12 cards in the hand. you want to do something about it, well, that's where Judge comes in. You can maybe use Magcargo, smooth over, put the Judge on the top of the deck, trade, you have it, or maybe use Tapu Lele to get the Judge. So that's why there are 2 copies in here, because there might be 1 price, and 2 copies is always more consistent than just 1 copy. Next up, we are gonna run 1 copy of Copycat. Let's say that the scenario where the opponent has 12 cards in the hand, sometimes you want to draw into all the resources you want. Well, Copycat can make sure of that. You can use Smackdown Copycat, look at the opponent's hand. If they have a lot of cards in the hand, you shuffle your hand into your deck and draw the same amount of cards. So that's why Copycat flies in the deck list. There's only 1 copy because we don't even need that much cards. Usually we use Cynthia and then use Straight in order to get more cards, but Copycat could be kind of those fun little draw supporters here. Next up is Professor Kukui. Usually you would only run 1 Professor Kukui because you can get it back with Puzzle of Time, but nowadays it's going to be 2 copies, and it looks like the lightning is in here. Maybe we could just swap this around. Maybe it's going to be better like this, I hope. Nah, you don't actually see it too well. We're definitely gonna put it on another place here, so let's put it like, yeah, like this, so you can actually see there's 2 copies of Professor Kukui in the list because you need that extra 20 damage. Why do you need that extra 20 damage? Righteous Beating limits at 120 damage. With a Choice Band, of course, that's 150 damage. With a Professor Kukui, that's 170 damage. You can start swinging and hitting Leles with that. There's also a counter catcher in the deck, just saying. And also we have access to the Devoured Field in order to deal that extra 10 damage to hit for 180, which is enough to one-shot things like Rayquaza GX, for example, or Tapu Lele. Moving forward with the supporters, we're gonna run 1 copy of Mallow. Mallow is actually awesome because you can just put 2 cards on the top of the deck. It's kind of similar like Magcargo, but if you don't have Magcargo, let's say you have 2 Slugmas in play, 2 of them, well, you can use Mallow, put 2 Magcargo on the top of the deck, use Trade, evolve those Slugmas into Magcargo, and then use a sort of a kind of Mallow effect again with Smooth Over twice, which is awesome. Next up, we're also gonna run 2 copies of Acerola. Acerola is nice. If a Zoroark does not get one-shot, you can use Acerola, put it directly in the hand, and off you go. You're safe again, because you heal off, you evolve another one of your Zoroark, or just promote a Zoroark GX, attach that DCE once again, and you're back. Next is something I'm doubting with. There's 3 copies of Guzma in here. I'm actually doubting to put a 4th one in, but I still have to improve some testing here to just know what the exact amount is. There's also a Pelpat in the deck, so that's why there's only 3 copies of Guzma, but I do like the supporter count as it is for now. Zoroark, the main attacker, being supported by Magcargo, and then there's 2 tech cards, 1 to recover cards and 1 to just smack Buzzwoles in the face. I don't know if Buzzwole will see that much play. If the crease is in play, you can just scratch the Deoxys all entirely, but I'm still very sure that the Buzzwole will still survive after rotation, even though they lose strong energy and of course Max Elixir. Next is the item cards. We're gonna run 4 copies of Ultra Ball. For Ultra Ball is a must in this deck. You have early game access to your Tapu Lele, you have access to your Magcargo or Zoroark, or just anything for that matter. So 4 copies of Ultra Ball, a must. Definitely if you're playing Tapu Lele in the deck, definitely run 4 Ultra Ball, because that way you can search it out way quicker. Next up, we are gonna run 2 copies of Nesball. This could be kind of debatable here, because we're also running Fan Club, but I do think that running 2 copies of Nesball will help. Let's say you don't start with a Lele or a Fan Club, well, you at least have a draw support like Cynthia in order to draw into Nesballs. You have 4 Zoroark, 2 Slugma, so the chances of us drawing into that Nesball is a little bit higher with that. And talking about more ball, there's a Timer Ball, 2 copies. Don't think if you can see it. Yeah, I like this, you can definitely see it. So 2 copies of Timer Ball. Timer Ball is just amazing. You can just flip 2 coins for every heads. You can just search your deck for an evolution Pokemon, a Zoroark or a Magcargo. Actually, the choice is all up to you, but 2 copies of Timer Ball is kind of similar like Evosoda that was played in every Zoroark list. Almost every Zoroark list pre-rotation, so this is the next best thing. And the good news is, if you have luck with coin flips, you can either get 2 of them out, which is awesome. Next, 1 copy of Enhanced Hammer, also something I'm doubting with. I could add in a second one, but the Enhanced Hammer is just needed. Zoroark will still be huge after rotation. We lose Octillery, which means this is the best draw engine Pokemon there is. So a lot of people will grab to that in order to have consistency. As you know, consistency is key, so 1 copy of Enhanced Hammer, maybe you can add it up to 2 if you find a room. Well, for now, 1 copy. Also, not all decks rely on special energies. Think about Rayquaza decks. Think about Tapu Lele decks, think about, there's a lot of decks that don't rely on special energies. Think about the Naganadel deck, they only run 1 beast energy. I guess that's enough for that, but not a lot of decks run a lot of special energies. Okay, Next up, is definitely mentioning that the strong energy also gets rotated out, so 1 copy of Enhanced Hammer seems fine. 3 copies of Choice Band. Choice Band adding the numbers up, of course. Choice Band and a Boswell with 3 energies, make sure that Deoxys can just one-shot it. The Choice Band also helps out, of course, with the Zoroark math numbers. We have, of course, 150 with Choice Band and 170 with the Kukui, and of course we're gonna talk about the Devoured Field later down in the video. So 3 copies of Choice Band is fine. Usually you would run 2 copies, but without Puzzle of Time, 3 copies is a must. Next up, 2 copies of Weakness Policy. If we do face things like Lucario or Boswell or Lycanroc, we can at least prepare for it and just equip a Weakness Policy to just get rid of our weakness entirely. This helps out quite a bit because if you get rid of your weakness, Zoroark can just smack through fighting types, which is awesome. They will need to grab their Field Blower, so as you see, Field Blower counts nowadays have been lowered down. We are only gonna run 1 copy of a Field Blower because Garbotoxin is leaving the format. Hell yes, yeah, say that in the comment section. Garbotoxin is gone, it's awesome. So only 1 copy of Field Blower seems efficient. Also Floatstone is gone, so you don't even need Field Blower too much, so 1 copy is efficient for certain situations. You can always get it out with Magcargo. You can maybe use some certain plays like you use Counter Catcher and then you Field Blow away something that they have and stuff, so everything is possible. And next, switching cards. We don't have Floatstone as mentioned, but we do have Switch and we do have Escape Rope. I don't think you can click on the camera. Okay, Switch is just a basic switch. Switch you're active with one of your bench. Can easily get out with Magcargo, and Escape Rope lets both players switch. The opponent can choose which bench Pokemon they promote. Same goes for us, so it's also a switching card, but could help in certain situations where there's like a Pokemon, you only need 1 more prize card and the active just has way too much HP. Well, you can use Escape Rope, they promote something, you have access to your Kukui, Choice Band, and of course the Devoured Field, which we're gonna talk about later, and then boom, it's done. Next up, some recovery cards is a Rescue Stretcher. Getting back a combination of 3 Pokemon in the deck or 1 into the hand could be very beneficial for your 1 copy of Oranguru or something. Let's say you had to discard it early game. Well, you can just get your Oranguru back, give him an energy, and just start reusing that resource management. Next is 1 copy of Max Potion, so a lot of 1s off. I know pre-rotation it was nice to have a lot of 1s off because we had Puzzle of Time, but nowadays you don't always need all those cards at the right situation, but you always have Smooth Over, so if it's in the deck, you have access to those 1s off. Okay, moving forward, we are gonna have 1 copy of the Counter Catcher. Very dangerous card for the opponent because if we're behind in prize cards, we can target anything we want. Does that sound like heaven? Well, it is. Counter Catcher, Choice Band onto the Zoroark GX, and boom, out of nowhere you deal 150 to everything. With Kukui that could be 170, that means you can Counter Catcher Tapu Lele all day long, and boom, you win. There's only 1 copy in there because you can easily get it out with Magcargo, and you don't always fall behind, you don't plan on falling behind too much. So, then 1 copy of Palpat. The Palpat is awesome. You can shuffle 2 of your supporters back in the deck. That could be a Mallow. Copies of Guzma or Acerola are kind of key. Or maybe your Professor Kukui. So very, very solid indeed. I definitely recommend it after the loss of course, our greatest card ever, Puzzle of Time. Okay, and then to finish off the list of the trainer cards, we have 2 copies of Devoured Field. Devoured Field, very awesome. It boosts the damage output for every Darkness and Dragon type in play by 10. I know you might think, oh my god, we're helping Rayquaza with that, we're helping the Duskmane, actually the Ultra Necrozma with that. Well, just think about it. We have 210 HP. Giving them an extra 10 damage doesn't even matter at all. Well, Rayquaza actually deals 30 damage times the amount of lightning and grass energies. Well, they always limit at 210 or 240, so that reduction of actually increase of 10 doesn't even matter at all. Same goes for Ultra Necrozma. It deals 180 with 2 Psychics and a Mallow with a Choice Band, that's 210. If they add it up to 220, nobody cares. So 2 copies of Devoured Field, definitely something I recommend. And to finish off the list entirely, we have our energies. Now you might think, wow, where are the energies? So many cards. Well, only 4 copies of the double cardless energy. So that is the list for you guys. A post-rotation Zoroark Magcargo list. So let me know in the comment section what you would change. Are you going to try this list out for yourself? And is this going to improve in the future? Because Zoroark is consistent, Magcargo is consistent, this deck screams consistency all around. So as soon as you get your Zoroarks out, you can get your Magcargo out. With Magcargo, you can get everything else out. So that is the list for you guys. Let me know in the comment section what you would like to see next as a post-rotation deck list, and I'll make it for you guys. That's how it goes on the channel. Also subscribe for more content like this, and give the little like button a little smash, because you know I always appreciate that, and it brings out the best in me, and that way I'll be motivated to make more and better content for you guys. Anyhow, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thanks again for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next Pokemon TCG video. I'm out. Peace.